name is Steven, and today I'm here to ask you what are some of America's biggest accomplishments? Maybe it's winning World War II. Maybe it's our breakthrough on vaccines that we have made, but one accomplishment that I think isn't talked about more is being the first to actually walk on the moon. So today I'm here to educate you on the expedition that was taken. Some topics that I will be covering: the rocket that was used, the actual trip to the moon, and the landing and return back to Earth. Without the rocket, the expedition wouldn't have been able to be possible. So we can start there. The model name of the rocket that was used is called the Saturn V rocket. It was a massive improvement of models before its time. One of its biggest improvements, according to MIT News, was its system. The computer system, which was called the Apollo Guidance Computer. It was a big improvement because it was the first to control a vehicle that was actually carrying people, which would pave the way towards things like Teslas nowadays. Now, the computer controlled the 3 stages of the rocket. The first stage was the boosters that was used that actually got the rocket started. The second stage was the sustainers that got the rocket towards the end of the atmosphere. And the third stage was what actually pushed the spacecraft into Earth's orbit, which was called the injector stage. Now we've learned about the rocket, we can talk about the actual trip there. On July 20th, 1969, 3 astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, were shot up into space out of Kennedy Space Center. They orbited the Earth an entire time before actually getting permission from Mission Control to head to the moon. The trip to the moon took 3 days before entering its orbit. According to NASA, they circled the moon for an entire day before they started the descent. At 4:17 p.m., the module lands. Now we can talk about the actual landing of the module. The landing of the module was not smooth. It was very rocky because of the computer system. It had got them all the way to the moon, but the actual landing overloaded the system. It was getting too many inputs, so it had overloaded, and Armstrong had to take control of the module. So what he had to do, since they're headed towards a big path of boulders, he had to move the module 4 miles into a different direction so they would actually be able to land safe. According to Light Metal Age, they used aluminum honeycomb shock absorbers on the legs of the module to cushion the edge, so the metal might have actually saved the landing of the module. 6 hours after the landing, Armstrong was ready to walk on the moon, which is when we heard, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." After stepping out, they spent 2 hours collecting samples of the moon. After collecting those samples, they reconnected with Collins back up in orbit, and they headed back towards Earth, which took another 3 days. And on July 24th, the astronauts landed in the Pacific Ocean 900 miles away from Hawaii, and that ended the expedition and was a big accomplishment. There have been many missions to the moon since the Apollo 11 mission, which have paved the way towards space travel that we have now. And hopefully you see now that it was a big accomplishment for not only America, but pretty much the entire world, because it shows what we can do with the space travel system. So, thank you for listening to my presentation.